Hey guys, welcome to this first of many, but this is one of the very first student testimonials that I have from the Etsy Profit Proof Formula course. So not a lot of you know that I actually do an 8-week coaching program in order to find profitable niches on Etsy. So this is Kerry Larkin. She is a superstar. She was one of the early birds into the program, and so she's had amazing success so far. So we wanted to just jump on and chat to Kerry about, how everything is going for her and how she found the program. So say hi, Kerry.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're very, very welcome. So yeah, you joined the program a couple of months back, and obviously you reached out to me. You'd heard about me. Do you want to tell them how you heard about the program and about me?
I just randomly, but serendipitously, I'd say, heard an interview with you on a podcast, and I'd heard about digital downloads for a while. And then I heard your interview and I thought, oh, that's something interesting. And so I scheduled a call with you and then we talked and I just jumped right in.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You just jumped right in. So where were you at the beginning? Like, obviously, had you tried Etsy before?
I hadn't tried Etsy before. I've actually had a textile design studio. So I was making physical products. And while I love doing it, I just want more flexibility and freedom. And I'm also just realizing in my life, I do have a day job too as well, that I'm just wanting more flexibility, I want to travel the world. I want to work remotely. I want to have more freedom in my life. And I'm just realizing I want multiple streams of income to help me do that. So, yeah. So I just was feeling like the physical products, making, shipping, and everything. Well, I enjoyed it at one point. It was just getting old fast.
Yeah. Were you finding that, with physical shipping of products and, it's labor intensive, right? It can be quite a drag after the sale comes in. So were you finding that, the manufacturing and all of the postage and all of that was a bit of a model that you were thinking this isn't working smart?
Definitely. Yeah. I felt like the whole work smarter, not harder, was kept coming up, that I'm not doing this. How can I be a smart businesswoman and use the skills that I have, do things that I love, and but also saving the passion, because I'm very creative and I love a variety of different art things, and I kind of want to save those things and not have to make money, just be able to do my artistic things on the side without having them be my livelihood. So the digital downloads felt like something that I could use my skills for and make money more easily without the hassle of shipping and packing and shipping things.
Yeah. So when you were doing all your physical product business, were you struggling to get sales? Because I remember we chatted in the very beginning before you enrolled in the program, and you were, you'd had very good press, right?
Yeah. And I was doing really high-end products too, that I think, and that's also kind of what led me to this program too, is that I have a lot of ideas. There's a lot of things that I want to do and explore, and I often get really paralyzed and overwhelmed because I'm afraid I'm going to make the wrong decision. And so that was something that was appealing when talking to you on the phone about this, was just the structure and strategy of the program. I was hesitant because I thought, oh, what if I don't even like Etsy? And I've never even tried it before. But it was so well structured. I'm getting ahead of myself, but
it's all right. You can praise the program as much as you like at any point.
It allowed me to just jump in and actually follow through with an idea from beginning to end. So that was great for me, that gets paralyzed and overwhelmed with lots of ideas and lots of different businesses I want to do and creative ideas I want to do. And it's overwhelming.
Yeah, because what the fear is there that we start something, but then we never follow through with it because we have so many shiny little objects that we're like, oh, I could do this, oh, I could do that. But there's never any, real decision to follow through on that. And that you need to, in order to follow through on something so big, you need the strategy to get you there, and you need the mindset to kind of take you through the fears, through all the hurdles, and keep going until that outcome is achieved. So a lot of people find that, and I can imagine a lot of girls out there in the group now are that they have that shiny object syndrome. It bounces around these ideas in their heads. They're very creative people. We all are. And if we don't stop doing that, peaking and then down and then peaking and then down, and every time we delve into Etsy, it's like, boom, ideas central. But what to choose is the big question. And
exactly.
what, choosing something before we even launch, don't, choosing something and testing it, and then that's where the momentum dies then, because the sales don't come from something that is which is on a whim, a decision made on a whim. It comes from evidence. So that is where the program is based around, is the evidence that you find throughout the program leads you to make a constructive decision on whether something will be profitable or not. Is that how you found the course?
Definitely. I mean, I loved, so like I said, I was hesitant jumping in because I was afraid, like, what if I wanted to pursue this idea or that idea? But once it's such a structured program that, like, left to my own devices, I would have been just gone and on to the next idea. And like, but with the structure, it really it held me accountable, and it was all the information was right there. It was there was so much information. Alys, you did such a good job. It was jam-packed with information, but it was such a structured strategy of steps to follow. And so I could just follow the steps and trust that, oh, this is exactly what I should be doing. Because otherwise, if I didn't have the program holding me accountable, I would have been just searching on Pinterest and click on something that said how to grow your Etsy business, or 10 ways to do this, and then you get so much overwhelming, competing, random, not helpful stuff. But this was like scientific strategy. It was just more. It's exactly what my mind needed.
And I think I've been called before my brain is forensic, although I'm not a scientific kind of person. I'm very creative, but the evidence for me needs to be there before you make that choice, because so many of us, and I like to call it like the train station of Etsy, where you've got thousands of trains going off at the same time and only a few are going to any profit land kind of thing, and many of them are just going off into nothing, and you don't want to be getting on the wrong train. So why would you make your decision by jumping onto random trains and testing things out to see where the destination is? The destination is in the timetable. You just need to go through the timetable, and you need to be doing the work before you launch. And the whole point of the transformation from, that's why the program is so structured, because there has to be, it's not an informational program. It's not like I dump a load of info on your lap and go, see you, Kerry, off you go. It is a structured thing where each week you are getting through each of the steps, and you're being helped along the way until you reach the actual final outcome. And the program that I built was all outcome based. I don't care about anything other than the fact that you get the outcome that you wanted, and it's the follow through that was the most important thing. Because if we buy programs and invest in programs that never get us the outcome, which is a majority of online programs, we've probably all done a few, where do we really get the outcome? Exactly. And that's the problem with the noise out there these days, with so many people telling you how to do something for free on YouTube or wherever you find it. But is it actually going to, if you implement those tips, are they just a band-aid, to tell you a tiny little piece of the puzzle? Or is it the full strategy to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till you're out the other end and you've got what you wanted in the beginning?
That's exactly, because I would follow this one little piece of advice out here on Pinterest, but without doing anything else, then, it's not successful. So I just felt so comfortable just to be able to trust this process and the steps, the week by week steps, because it was just organized so well that, thank you.
You're very welcome. And, it's about also, us as women, when we're doing our businesses, and people have an expectation of, I'm going to earn 30K in a month within 2 weeks. it doesn't quite work like that. Business is business. It still needs to be built up. It still needs to be pushed. It still needs to be worked on once you've launched. But, having and building and cultivating the mindset, or having the energetic kind of frequency of faith, of, the faith can come because you prove the profit in the niche. The faith can come because, you are taking consistent action in the direction of the goal, whether or not you see immediate results. And that faith is not often there for people. Taking your inner kind of faith and looking and seeing if it waxes and wanes throughout the journey. But when you have a structure and a strategy, and you have some mindset help in order to get where you need to be, you can take that consistent action because your faith is there. And it's exactly what happened to me when I began. I saw someone doing something amazing on Etsy, and I thought, hang on a minute, let's just see if there's any money in that. And there was a lot of different tick boxes that I needed to tick before I joined in and joined into that niche. But the faith was there for me because the profit was proved. Is that how you felt when you were diving into your niche?
That's exactly it. And I think what's good about this is proving the profit, is being a creative person, which I'm sure a lot of, we all are. It's so tempting. Like, there were definitely areas that I wanted to do just for my personal, like, oh, I would love to make these pretty da-da-das or whatever. But the profit wasn't there. And without this program, I would have just gone off and done whatever I wanted to do. Yeah. And so seeing the profit, I chose a niche that I would have never expected to choose. But now I see the profit is there. I'm following the chasers. I know what they're doing on a week by week basis. And my store is less than 2 months old, and it's growing, and I'm getting sales every day. And it just feels good that I can trust that, oh, it's going to get there, and it's because the profit is already proven.
Yeah. And it gives you that control. It gives you control over the fact of where you entered and what you did. And it shines a light on something that, like you say, you would have gone off and done it. But when the light is shined, there was not enough profit in there for what you wanted to achieve in your life, for the income that you wanted to create for yourself, and for the future of your freedom of having passive income coming in. Because we all sold on the passive income dream, but reality, not many people will be able to sit on a beach and work off a laptop, because we've got commitments in life. But the idea that you can have a recurring income coming in, whether you do your day job or, at least you have something that is coming in that you could prove the profit on, rather than wasting your time on a whole other shiny little objects that had, you may not have reached the goal of even getting to those shiny objects, but at least, they wouldn't have proved the profit, like, the strategy that you went through with the program here.
Right. Yeah. It goes back to the working smarter, not harder. Like, if I would have just followed one of my whims, it would have been just for fun. But this really allowed me to work smarter.
Yeah. So is there any way now in your life now, what has changed for you? Like, are you feeling a lot more at peace, or?
I am, I'm still like obviously my shop is still growing. But I think, all of the strategies that you taught us, with Etsy, you definitely can prove the profit because you can see what other people are selling, and you can see what popular items are and everything. But also, just because I am so business minded, or I love business ideas, I'm not necessarily business minded. I feel like, oh, I could open another, now I'm proving the profit for other Etsy shops and getting ready to start some other Etsy shops, so that I just have, because it's actually so seamless. Once you set up your shop and get the images and everything and put it all together, then I'm like, why not do more of this? And it's shown me that I can actually follow through with something, which I haven't followed through with something in a long time. So the fact that I followed through with the whole course, launched my shop, and then I have sales is amazing for me. And so it's just making me realize that I can do that, and have several shops going. And I actually am enjoying the shop maintenance and keeping up and adding products. And I thought I would have lost interest by now, but I haven't, because I see the profits there. So
Yeah, and you see the profit coming in for yourself as well. We can all work on our Etsy businesses, and we can all kind of sweat the same amount of sweat, but the same cost to our lifestyle and the time that we take to do stuff. And business is business. You are going to make a lot. You're going to have to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're working on it and you know that the profit's coming in, then that makes it a whole different, it gives you a kind of joy to the work, because you're touching lives and you're making, products that people want, rather than posting out products and creating products and no one wants them and no one's buying them. And the views are really low, or the sales are really low, and it can get really frustrating, disheartening. And, eventually the momentum dies and we wane and we give up. So, having that money coming in now has given you that boost to, I actually love doing this for people.
I know, and I love it. Yeah, interacting with the people who have bought so far, and the feedback. It's really great. It really is.
So, what concerns did you have before joining the program?
I think my big thing was I going to be able to follow through with it? And I have a hard time choosing niches in other areas. So was I actually going to be able to choose a niche in this and narrow it down and stick to something? So I think that was my big thing.
Yeah. So there was a trust issue with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And was there a trust issue with the program, or believing in something that, you haven't tried yet?
I mean, at first I was definitely hesitant, but I think it was more myself. And then, again, I started when we were in the week of researching our niches and just deep diving into Etsy. And again, I didn't have an Etsy store before, which a lot of the other women had. So it was like a whole new world opening up of all of the possibilities.
Yeah.
And so there was a bit there that I was, thinking, oh, I want to do this, fun thing, thinking, this would be fun. But then once I explored and the profit wasn't there and it was an oversaturated market, then I realized, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So at one point it just hit me after going through that week of like, how can I do this smartly? And it's just following the steps of trusting that, okay, the profit is here, go for this, run with this niche.
Yeah. And before you joined the program, what were you doing to kind of, did you have any strategy to find out if something was going to work before you ever joined in? No, probably not.
No, I mean, no. And it's hard to, I know, or I'm, just kind of all over the place. And, I was doing products that were getting good press before, but not quite selling. People love them, but never committed to buying them. And it's hard to see what other shops, like, especially in the world of where I was in, textiles and soft goods, seeing other people's websites. When you just see their website with their Shopify site or whatever, you don't know how successful those companies are at all. Like, people can just put on such a facade, and you think that, so you could be comparing yourself to someone whose website looks amazing, and you're thinking like, oh my God, I need to be that way. But with Etsy, you can actually, the numbers are there, so you can see.
Yeah. And
so
most definitely. We outside of the Etsy marketplace, that's why Etsy is such a unique little beast, because within the Etsy marketplace, there's information there that you can use to interpret, to make your decisions. However, the major problem is when you go into Etsy is you go into that massive rabbit hole of comparison and seeing everyone else and all of the actual products that they've created, the inventory that they've got, the huge amounts of what looks like great sales. But then a lot of people can't interpret the data in order to make a decision on whether something is oversaturated or not. So within the program, I'll just share a little bit about what's in the program. With we go into how do we determine whether a niche is oversaturated or not. We go into how to work out whether there would be room for you or not, and we break it down to the point of profit. And so, that unknown that everyone has when they delve into Etsy of, oh, this looks great, this looks popular, but they don't actually know where in the life cycle of the trend life cycle it is. Is it still in its growth phase? Is it peaked? Is it oversaturated? Is there a bidding war going on? Is it, you know, everyone undercutting each other? Are they bundling things up that, you know, now means that what I used to sell for $10 for one, now people are selling 20 for that price, you know, $10. So it can be a big minefield on where this, if people, it's more scattergun when people don't know the actual path step by step to actually prove whether something is oversaturated or not. And that is where we, and many women will dive into something that is oversaturated because it looks like it's selling. And that is the major mistake that we in the program, we put the brakes on and go, hang on, where is the proof? And we get out all of our tick boxes to go, okay, is this proved? Is this proved? Has the data shown this? Has the data shown that? Because it generally won't always be, you know, a clean-cut answer. It may be very shaded by the actual market that is buying the stuff. You know, it can be based on trends. It can be based on so many little pieces of the puzzle that not everyone can understand when they interpret the data, and they may get their decisions wrong. You know, I open Etsy shops all the time in order to kind of test theories, test markets. And what I've seen from that, the lessons I've learned from those, is invaluable to actually making the check boxes and the checklists to go, right, is this checked off, is that checked off before, to prove whether something's actually viable or not. And if it's not, you just don't go there. And then you've saved yourself so much time. And a lot of the girls in the program, they have been digging and digging and digging through the niches to find the gold, as we call it. And at any point, I always love to say, you know, you're 3 foot from gold. And I've had many people, you know, even in the program, having a bit of a, you know, ups and downs with their mindset of, am I ever going to get here? Am I ever going to get to where I need to be? Am I ever going to find the thing I want to do? And then I always say, you know, trust the system, trust the fact that you're, you know, at 3 foot from gold at any point. And then within a couple of days, I get an email going, oh, but I found this. And, you know, the income level on this is like 15 grand a month consistently. And I'm like, yep, there's your gold. But it actually takes resilience and time to actually, you know, don't question how long it's going to take you. It'll take you a level long, it will. You know, some girls are in week 3, they're like, boom, found it. And other girls, it takes 5 weeks to get there. But it doesn't matter how long it takes, you know, as long as you're finding them. And once you've, like you say, once you've got the prove the profit formula, you can apply it again and again.
Exactly. I know. And I found niches that I would have never stumbled upon because the strategy, like the word forensic is good, what you described before, because I feel like now I'm an investigator. Like I can go into Etsy and I don't get swayed by the pretty pictures or the thing, you know, I can jump in and dive in and look and see these shops and their niches. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not even on my radar. I have one aesthetic that I love. That's me, but I'm finding these other things that are profitable that I'm like, oh, this is a whole new world. Yeah.
It is. And when you the joy I see in the voices and the, you know, people telling me, oh my God, I found it, I hit the gold. That buoyancy and that like feeling that you get when you go, oh my God, and when you've proved the profit on something and you're like, I never knew. Like even for me, I'm like, wow, that's a great one. Good find, you know. It's just like people keep constantly, and people think, oh, Etsy's so hard, Etsy's so oversaturated. Once you prove the profit and you've got that formula to finding these niches out, you'll be so surprised. And I'm glad you said that, because that is exactly how nearly everyone on the program has hit a point where they're like, holy moly, I never knew that was even existing, and how much they're making from that. That is nuts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Opportunities everywhere. And although, you know, the whole press of Etsy, it's so doom and gloom, we're on the other side going, it's not. Did you find this and this? So it's pretty cool. I'm very, very excited every time people are messaging me going, oh my God, look what I've just found. So what would you really want other women in the group, and, you know, because I know you've been in the Etsy Passive Income Goals group for a while, but, you know, is there anyone in the group, you know, and the other women in the group that you would feel like, because you've been through the program, what you would want them to know about what possibilities, you know, because a lot of the girls in the group, you know, they've been had, you know, Etsy shops for a long time. A lot of them are struggling to find the time in order to dedicate to the store, in order to take it where they need to be. A lot of them are dealing with overwhelm. A lot of them are dealing with, you know, just the whole heavy feeling of Etsy and you know, the struggle. because they're probably on a wrong train. Is there any advice, or what would you want other women in the group to know about the possibilities that the program, Etsy Profit Proof Formula program, gave them or could give them?
Well, I struggle with overwhelm so much, and analysis paralysis too, where I just get, there's so many options, I get paralyzed. So I totally get that. And I think what I learned from this is that I could just relax and just trust the process and go step by step. I could just go step by step, and I didn't have to worry about like if I was doing the right thing or not. Yeah, I can't stress enough how like the step-by-step structure really helped me follow the steps. And then I didn't have to worry, because normally my brain is like Googling this and searching Pinterest for that and 10 tips on this or 5 tips on that. I could just trust that, just follow the steps, do the work, and it's just a strategy, and you uncover the gold.
Uncover the gold. Yeah, it's an uncover the gold strategy, right? Most people cannot, you can't even begin to even find, they will generally, when you go on Etsy, you will find oversaturated niches, because they're the ones that are shining out as profitable when really they're not. But yeah, that's an awesome piece of advice for anyone, because I know these women in the group, a lot of you guys are really feeling a lot of overwhelm it's just the noise out there, a lot of noise into, listen to me, listen to this, listen to that, to follow these 5 tips. It's too much for everyone. It's far too much oversaturated noise that it's just, and I've done this where, I'm building the program that I've built. You have to eventually say no, and you have to eventually go, I only need to listen to one voice. I just want to listen to someone who knows what they're on about, can get me the outcome, and then drop everything. And I have actually done that. I have a mentor, and I've been working for her since January, and I decided there's so many people trying to peddle the same stuff that I went, no, I'm just listening to him. I dropped everyone off Facebook, everyone I was following, and going, these people actually, he's the one who can prove it to me that it works. And so I only listen to him. I'm not suggesting that anyone goes out of any Facebook groups just to listen to me or anything. But what I'm saying is that sometimes the noise can do us an injustice. And sometimes the noise can lead us into empty little, journeys that waste our time. And if we really sit down and think about what is actually the goal I want to achieve in the next 12 months, and what would I do to achieve that goal? If someone told me, right, you've only got 12 weeks, not 12 months, but 12 weeks, what would you do to actually get to that goal? And most people would say, right, I need a proper strategy. I need to dump all of the waffle and the fluff that people are just in our brains. Stop looking for top tips, because that is in someone else's niche, in someone else's area that you're not actually going into. So it's about, for me, like, I needed to create a program in which the waffle just wasn't there, and it's real proper actionable steps that go, okay, let's get forensic about this. We aren't going forward. We're not getting, the train's not leaving the station until we know it's going to profit land.
And I think when you said that in the beginning of the class about like, what would you do if you had to do it in 12 weeks instead of a year? Like, that's what made me realize, okay, I could surf Etsy till the cows come home. But once I use your spreadsheets, I just go in there, I fill in the numbers, I like search for shops, I know what I'm looking for, I'm just like boom, boom, boom. And it's so much more, it takes away all of that, just like looking all around.
Yeah, because there's a level of diving in for information, and then deep dive in. But most people would just literally go in and deep dive and drown in all of the options and possibilities. Where the structure of the program makes sure that you go in for the data you need, and then come back out, analyze it, and then go back in for secondary data, third data, fourth data, and just jumping in to kind of actually make your correct decision. And that's what it's all about, because we can all blood, sweat and tears down the line, but if you're not on the right train, what's the bloody point?
Exactly. And now I know, like, every Monday I have my morning coffee, I look at my stats, I do like a quick deep dive around Etsy, checking things out, but I know I'm not going to get sucked in, because now I know the strategy. So it's like, oh, this is my nice Monday morning coffee. Jump in and get the information I need and get out without drowning.
Yeah, perfect. We're totally not about not drowning in the Etsy overwhelm, totally. So I think yeah, we'll wrap it up. I think it's just amazing, the amazing results that you're achieving in the program, and also, you know, I'm tracking your stats as well. I'm seeing how good you're doing and how your business is growing. So I'm super proud of all of the effort that you've put in. I'm super proud of the fact that you have, you know, followed through and actually had the help, the right help to get you the outcome. And that's the most, you know, rewarding part for me, is knowing that you are on the right train now. And I loved it when you said in the Facebook group the other day how, you know, I'm thinking of just starting a second store, because why not?
Seriously, why not? And I do just want to say, Alys, you really like changed my mindset of like how I want to live my life, and like how I want to create my life. And I want flexibility and freedom, and this is a way to get to it. And I just feel like now I have the tools to get there. So I really appreciate it. I really
You're
do.
very, very
Thank you.
welcome. This is just exactly why I built the program, for people like you who just, you know, want to change the way that they build their income, and make it easy. Because it's so easy once, you know, obviously hard work for getting the products up there, but you know, that's life, you got to do it. But once you're there, those products are up there just singing like little everlasting earning items that just drip into your bank account. So
I know.
yeah.
So great.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Anyway, well, thank you so much, Kerry, for joining us. And yeah, hopefully any girls in the group that is this is enlightened and made you realize, yeah, I think I need to prove the profit too. You know, some of you have already got Etsy stores, so I understand that, you know, you've been building some things for a long time. But if there is a part of you that feels like you just want to make things a little bit more simple, and you want to bring in income via digital products, and you want to be, you know, even the digital products that you're creating maybe, and not bringing in the sales that you wanted, you can speak to me on a call. I do calls with everyone who joins my program. I do calls, and they're more for getting clarity on where you are, what you want to achieve, and if the program can get you that or not. And if it can't, I'll tell you, and you know, I can help you in other ways. I can steer you to other programs that might help you, from other people, or, you know, resources that could help you. But if I can help you and we're a good fit to work with each other, and, you know, you'd fit in beautifully into the program, then, you know, I'm very, very happy to bring anyone who wants to be on the program in, so you can achieve what Kerry's achieved as well. And Kerry is on the starting blocks of an amazing, amazing reoccurring income coming in for her. So yeah, you can do that. You can, if anybody wants to book a call with me, you can do that at alysmaley.com/apply. And yeah, book a call and we can chat and see where you are right now, how I can assist you in getting to where you want to be in the shops and the income that you've got. Okay, thank you so much, Kerry. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
And I'll speak to you soon.
Okay.